If you're a homeowner in coastal North Carolina, you already know how to prepare for hurricanes and storm surges. But what if I told you the biggest threat to your property is silent, invisible, and it's lurking right under your feet? Let's dig in.
So let me just ask you, what do you really think is the #1 risk to your coastal home? Is it that hurricane you're tracking for days? Or maybe the storm surge that always gets the headlines?
Well, while those are definitely serious, the most persistent and honestly the most costly danger might be the one you can't see at all. It's a silent, perfect storm, and it's brewing right in your backyard, inside your septic system. Now, North Carolina's coast is a beautiful place to live, we all know that. But it is an incredibly challenging environment, especially for your septic system. There's this unique mix of environmental factors that creates a constant, high-risk situation for pretty much every homeowner here.
I mean, think about it. Low elevation means you are just closer to the water table. Now add in groundwater that's always on the move, plus soils that are often just plain wrong for treating wastewater, and you've got a recipe for failure. This isn't a one-time thing. It's a constant stress test on your system.
So, enough with the big picture. Let's get specific. We're going to zero in on 4 key coastal counties. That's Onslow, Pender, Carteret, and New Hanover, to see exactly how these local conditions are putting your home at risk.
First up, Onslow County. You know, Jacksonville, Camp Lejeune. This area faces a real double whammy when it comes to septic systems. You've got serious water issues and a rapidly growing population.
And what's wild here is how these problems all feed off of each other. The frequent storms, they cause the already high water tables to just keep rising. And inland, you've got this heavy clay soil that acts like a bathtub, trapping all that water and preventing your drain field from doing its job. Then you add a growing population on top of that, and you've got systems that are just pushed to their absolute breaking point.
And this quote just nails it. The systems here are failing from multiple angles. It's not just one thing. So the key here is that an inspection isn't just some routine checkup. It's an early warning system against this multi-front attack.
Okay, next, let's head over to Pender County. Here, the challenges kind of shift a bit. The main culprits are extreme flooding and some particularly tricky soil. Pender County is basically a giant sponge. It's one of the most flood-prone areas in the whole state, which means drain fields can stay waterlogged for weeks. But right on the coast, you've got the exact opposite problem of Onslow's clay. You've got super sandy soil that lets untreated wastewater just rush right into the groundwater. You throw in the unique swampy hydrology of those Carolina bays and corrosive salt, and yeah, it's a recipe for disaster.
Exactly. You see, an inspection in Pender County is all about spotting those very specific threats, like groundwater getting so high it literally forces its way into your system. It's about finding out if your soil is just fundamentally incompatible before it turns into a public health hazard and a massive bill for you.
All right, let's talk about Carteret County. I'd call this place ground zero for a septic system's worst nightmares. We're talking corrosive salt and the full fury of coastal storms.
Carteret County is in a constant, non-stop battle with the sea. That salty air is relentless. It is literally dissolving concrete tanks and metal parts over time. And out on the barrier islands, the water table is so shallow it actually ebbs and flows with the daily tides, just constantly bombarding septic systems with salt water. So here's the bottom line for any homeowner in Carteret. Your system is on an accelerated timeline for failure. It's not a matter of if it will fail, but when. And regular inspections are really the only way you're going to catch that decay early enough.
Okay, finally, let's look at New Hanover County. Because here, all those natural coastal risks we've been talking about get amplified by us, by human factors. We're talking dense development and just plain old infrastructure.
You know, around Wilmington, you've got smaller lots, which means there's less space for drain fields to even do their job. A lot of these systems are old too, built way before we had the stricter codes and better materials that we use today. Then you add coastal flooding and the really heavy water use from all the vacation rentals, and you're asking these aging systems to do the impossible.
And that is the really crucial part for New Hanover. Problems here can happen incredibly fast. An older system can seem totally fine one day and then be catastrophically failing the next. An inspection is your only way to see that deterioration that's happening just below the surface.
So, we've looked at the unique challenges in each county, but now it's time to pull the camera back and see the bigger picture. Because honestly, whether you're in Sneed's Ferry or Carolina Beach, you are up against the same formidable enemies.
This slide right here really brings it all home. High water tables, flooding every year, bad soil, salt corrosion, aging infrastructure, these are not isolated problems. This is the universal reality of owning a septic system on the North Carolina coast. Nobody gets a pass.
And let's just quickly break down this soil issue because it's so important. It's a real two-sided problem. Sandy soil, which is common right at the coast, lets wastewater just fly through it way too quickly without getting treated. But head a little bit inland, you hit that clay, which doesn't let water pass through at all, causing nasty backups. Either way, you're headed for system failure.
Okay, we have spent a lot of time on the problems, the threats, the risks. So, what's the solution? Well, it's simple, it's powerful, and it's proactive. It's your single most important line of defense, a professional septic inspection.
You see, an inspection isn't just about finding problems. It's about you taking control. It actively tells you if your drain field is saturated, if groundwater is getting inside, and how much corrosion your tank has. A really good rule of thumb in this coastal zone is to get an inspection every 2 to 3 years. That report gives you the power to stop backups before they happen, add years to your system's life, and, maybe most importantly, protect the value of your home.
Look, at the end of the day, owning a home on the coast is a huge investment. And that investment just requires a different level of care and maintenance than a home somewhere inland.
This really says it all. Living here demands that you be proactive. You can't just install a septic system and forget about it. That inspection is your first, your best, and your most critical step in protecting your property from that storm that's brewing underground.
So as we wrap up, I'll leave you with this question. You've prepared for the storms that you can see coming over the horizon, but is your home's first line of defense ready for the one you can't? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.